My style icon.
Mine's Timothée Chalamet.
Whew.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm Timothée Chalamet.
And I'm Ostenbutler, and today we're gonna let Elle ask us anything.
My first job in life was a show business job. I hate to admit, I wish it was something.
What was it in show business?
It was a commercial for Disney Channel, and they cast an English language speaking kid, a Spanish language speaking kid, and then us, the French Canadian audience. So I had a dialect coach for one line, and we shot in Disney World at 3 a.m. because that's the only time in the park no one's there.
How old were you?
9, 8 or something, yeah. And then I went back to school, you know, bragging about had been in a commercial and no one believed me. And it didn't air enough for anyone to see it. So my mom still has the commercial though.
I gotta see this.
Yeah.
My first job was, I never had a real job other than acting. The first time I was ever paid as an actor was on Hannah Montana.
Wow.
So Disney, something Disney as well.
Legendary.
Yeah, it was an episode where she gets set up on a blind date. I am there, and at first she's excited, and then we're watching a horror film, and I'm terrified during the film, just screaming and just losing my mind. So it turns out to be a bad blind date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strangest thing I've done to prepare for a role, there's things. In Little Women, there's an ice skating sequence where Saoirse Ronan and I, where there's no ice, and we're on our sneakers. We're literally just to go like that, skating through on a tennis court in Boston and on roller skates.
So it was just filmed really close.
It was filmed really close, but yeah, it was one of those things, movie magic. You're on sneakers.
Yeah. Wow.
You know.
I remember Tom Hanks always saying it's gonna feel fake in real life, but look real in fake life.
Perfect.
Yeah, I always think about that one.
Yeah, that's a good
one of those
one.
moments.
That's a good one.
Who's my dream co-star? I mean, well, I got to work with him.
Man.
But,
but I'm curious. I'm actually curious.
I mean, my dream, I mean, you got to work with Mark Rylance. Mark Rylance is up there for me. Joaquin, I mean, obviously Leo. Yeah, there's a number of different ones.
I agree with all three of those.
Yeah.
I would definitely go Joaquin too. That would be really exciting.
He's amazing.
Right now, I'm gonna go with Kenny the Jet Smith on Inside the NBA TNT because I feel like he has varying style, but he's also very bold and confident about when he just wants to rock sneakers with a suit, and I admire that.
Mine's Timothée Chalamet.
Whew!
Yeah.
Whew! Oh yeah.
What is one red carpet look that I regret?
I wouldn't say red carpet, but there was a rapper named Lil B the Bass God who was like famous for wearing this pair of Vans that were like incredibly beat up, and I was inspired by that, so I had a really nasty pair of Vans kind of coming out of high school. I remember I went to a thing once, I mean there was holes in the bottom of the Vans. I wore them with no socks, and that's when I see it, I'm like, man, that looks nasty. You know, look dirty.
There's holes in the bottom of the shoe?
There's holes in the bottom of the shoe.
Wow, and did you wear the holes into those shoes?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I had them brand new and I rocked them so much. I remember doing a play when I was really young, like the first play I ever did called The Talls when I was 15, and religiously like not reading the reviews and just thinking this will affect my state of mind during the show. And then the play ended and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read the review. And there was like 3. And I was like, oh, I could have read these. It didn't affect me at all.
Yeah. There was a strange one when I was doing press and I was in Japan for a second and I flew back to LA and then somebody called me and said, what happened in Japan?
Oh no.
And well, there's a headline that says that you knocked out Ezra Miller in Japan or something.
What?
And it completely untrue. I've never met them. So that was. It was one of those that you just don't know where that kind of stuff comes from. Yeah.
That's nuts.
So, yeah, crazy stuff
That's
like
crazy.
that. Yeah, thankfully that wasn't true at all.
Canteen with water in it.
That's so smart.
Yeah, one of them backpacks with the...
Camelback, is that
Camelback.
what they call it? Yeah, umbrella.
Maybe. An umbrella for the sun.
For the sun.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, the one thing you really don't need.
Rain boots.
Rain boots. A rain jacket.
No, yeah. Umbrella for the sun.
Umbrella for the sun.
Or like a tent, maybe.
A tent. Sunscreen.
Yeah. Sandcastle making materials.
Sandcastle making material. A little Rogaine. Rogaine for Fade Rapper.
Yeah. Handle with care.
Handle with care.
Fragile.
Fragile inside.
Yeah. What's one role I wish I had auditioned for? I think back to something like East of Eden.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
That really impacted me at a young age.
How did you see that so young? You just found it?
My dad watched tons of
Yeah,
old films.
that makes sense.
He always had Turner Classic Movies on. We'd watch a movie every night. And do you have one that you think of that you...
Sure, as you can relate, there was a point in my career where I felt like I wasn't getting.
Yeah,
You'd see a
yeah.
young man in something and go, "Oh, I didn't even have a crack at
I
that."
didn't
Yeah.
even get close to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember asking you and Christopher Walken, because I was so scared, and Christopher Walken just said, just read the cue cards.
Yeah, that's good
So,
actually.
I mean, it does take a lot more than that, but
Yeah.
that's what he told me.
I mean, I remember the first time doing that, there's so much lore around it. Everyone sort of has a piece of advice that's done it or works there, and I was very receptive to that, because you want to soak it all in. I remember halfway through the first time I did it going, oh, this is like doing theater,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I could have been on my heels more. And then this time, right before I went out, I was feeling nervous, and I noticed that Woody Harrelson had written, did I already say this to you? Or no? I can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah. What did he say?
That Woody Harrelson wrote, I'm terrified right now, right next to
Yeah.
them, they put Woody Harrelson. And I read that right before, and I was like, oh man,
so
that makes
good.
you feel good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, I'm not the only one that's
Yeah.
that's
So
right now.
comforting to know that
So
everybody
comforting.
else feels that fear.
So nice, yeah.
Yeah. It always depends on the person you're playing, where
Yeah.
you kind of bring stuff around you. I mean, usually a script. I have that with all my notes in it, and
Yeah.
that's sort of
Guide.
totem of all the homework that you've done to
Yes.
get you to that point. Do you have something that you always bring to set?
No, honestly, actually headphones.
Headphones,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll
that's
always
a
bring
good
a
one.
pair of
actually.
headphones, yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't have one. I mean, I try to use moisturizer now because I've read the articles that the younger you start,
Yeah,
the better
yeah.
it is in the long run. I'm of the perhaps incorrect scientific opinion that the more your body gets used to something, if you take it away, if ever there's the apocalypse, you don't want to break out.
You don't want to break out during the apocalypse. I also don't really have a skincare routine, Sometimes put some oil on the face.
Nice.
Get a good oil.
Nice.
I always feel luxurious when I do that.
Nice.
But I don't do it all the time.
Okay, just on special.
Yeah, just on special occasions.
Special occasions.
If I wasn't an actor, I'd like to be a chef. It's fun because it feels like art, but you're creating it for somebody else to enjoy, and I find it meditative for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, what about you? What would you, if you weren't an
If
actor?
I wasn't an actor, I would definitely be a lice picker.
Seriously?
Yeah, I've said it before. It's like
I was not expecting you to say that.
I'm like half joking, but my mom, showed me that in first grade. It said like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And that was the thing I put. But I guess because a lot of kids, there's a breakout in my school, and I was either this
Yeah.
or that. Yeah.
Wow.
I find creative inspiration from just about anything, and everything. I think the feeling I get from creative inspiration or seeing good movies or listening to good music, I trust that in my life more than just about anything. The feeling I get from being inspired, it's the backbone of my life. It is.
But when you feel that, you just lean in and you just follow your curiosity.
It's like, and curiosity is such a good word because I talk about that a lot. Death of curiosity is the death of imagination. And as you get older, all right, here I am on my Brooklyn hipster high chair. But as you get older, the incentive is all there just to start tuning off the curiosity to get in your habits. Just naturally.
I heard this thing the other day. Talk about being up on a high chair, but aging is the aggressive pursuit of comfort. How you could get so used to the same things and want the same things and not listen to new music and watch the same show and just kind of make your life as comfortable as possible. It's been the proudest moment of my career so far. I think back to doing my first play in Los Angeles, and my mom was in the audience and looking down and seeing her, and that was so special. Or, being in Cannes for the first time, and my dad had never been outside the country.
Wow.
We hadn't seen each other yet, and he had just arrived, and I look at my father, and he's on the carpet in a tuxedo in Cannes, and I just thought, this is so surreal, and I can't believe
That's
it.
the first time you saw him in France?
First time I saw him in France.
And he was spiffed up?
And he'd never been out of the country, and it was so special.
That is.
So that was really cool. Yeah, do you have a moment that sticks out to you as the most?
It was at Sundance, and the movie ended, and this will sound ridiculous because I was young. I was like 21, but I was like, oh man, finally, I feel like. And again, now it sounds ridiculous to me because I'm like, man, I was so young, but at that moment, I felt like I had been really just searching for something that would resonate. And if you're not a writer or a director and you're just an actor, it's like the delivery of that is sort of beyond you. All you really have is your energy and your ambition in some way and your artistry and your vulnerability. So all those other things, the completion of the movie, the editing, let alone how it's received, let alone what festivals it gets into, it was so beyond me. So to feel like that. And then in different ways, the positive ways they were received, I was just like exhaled in a huge way and felt like, all right, trust your
Just
instinct.
trust your instinct.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching.
And be sure to check out Dune Part 2.